that's another story. But right now, physically better anyway. Here are the cliff notes. A gentleman said he's been feeling off. That was his word, since around sometime in October. And then lately he started noticing, my face feels kind of weird. Goes to the mirror, face and lips, a little bit of swelling back on February 9th. And then he started getting nosebleeds, constant nosebleeds. He said he couldn't even get up and go to the bathroom without his nose bleeding. So he went to the hospital, and he's a cancer survivor. And he had been through a lot of radiation and chemo in the past, and he thought maybe something's going on in my head, my sinuses. He went into the doctor, explained what was going on, and that's when it got really, really weird. This is an interview we're reading from the New York Post. Dr. David Carlson said, "Well, I examined the man's nose with a camera. They've got those tiny little cameras attached to a hose they can put up in your nose because he wants to go in and see if there's anything going on with the gentleman's sinuses." What he discovered was this, Candace, I apologize. Dozens of bugs. Dozens feeding on the inside of the nose and sinus cavity. They were shedding tissue and excrement, which is what spurred the man's inflammation. Here's the doctor's quote. Size-wise, there were variations, but the larger ones were as big as the end of my pinky.
Oh my God.
They tried to remove them with a suction hose, but then that got clogged. They used a lot of different instruments to pluck them out, and those little buggers, according to the doctor, did not want to be evicted. And here's where it really goes off to another level. They were right up against his skull base, right under the brain. Had they gone through that, it absolutely would have killed him.
Yeah.
Now, are you ready? Now, Zepp, you asked the question earlier, how many bugs can you put up one man's nose? If the answer is more than one, you got a problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think I would notice the first bug up my nose.
Yeah.
Are we ready? 150. That's the answer.
I get like a half a booger going, or that stray hair, that I couldn't get clipped, and I'm like, it's bugging me, and I'm picking and blowing, and 150 bugs up your nose, eating your snot and crapping away, and I don't.
Yep.
No words.
Yep.
I've got nothing for you.
Now, the man is, to this day, he doesn't want his name out there. He's
really?
staying unidentified, which, thank you for that. He did say, I know I'm going to have to change my lifestyle as far as when I handle fish.
Yes.
He said there's parasites from dead fish must have gotten in. He said, before I would rinse my hands in the river. Now I'll use cleaner to do a better job and make sure not to touch my nose to my hand.
You just rinse them in the river.
Yeah.
That's how you
sanitary.
Pick up bugs and stick them right in your nose. You're taking them from the river and putting them up into your nasal cavity.
There is a condition called nasal don't worry about it. You're never going to get it. Nasal myiasis or something. My ass is itchy just thinking about this.
Yeah.
Nasal myiasis, which is the infestation of fly larvae. Larva. That's what this was apparently. So this guy, by the way, I mentioned he had a cancerous tumor in his nose. That's 30 years ago, however. I mean, it's been 30 years cancer-free, but of course it stays on your mind. Like, wait, this thing must be back. So imagine, it must be terrifying thinking, oh my God, I must have another tumor in my nose.
Yeah.
Would you be relieved when they say it's not cancer, or would you be horrified? Oh, I wish it was cancer. Instead, it's 150 larvae.
I mean, you don't want the cancer, right? But I would think you'd be a little bit more sensitive and, pay closer attention to your nose because you've had the cancer. The first time I feel a tickle or my nose is bleeding, I'm, going to be very reactive to that. But this guy let it go so that 150 bugs. He didn't shove 150 bugs up his nose. They've been breeding and having more bugs and creating a little bug city right there.
Inviting
up against
friends.
The base of your right. Come on over. This guy's nose. He's not doing jack squat about it. It's like the parents are never coming home. You just keep inviting more bugs to the party.
I wonder if it did occur to any of them. They could have incorporated. Just go Bug City, Florida, right there up this guy's nose.
Well, he's a Florida guy, too.
I could see something. I could see that. That is something, boy.
I love that they tried to use a shop vac or their medical version of it, but it got plugged. So many bugs up your nose. Oh my God! There's pictures. Don't Google it. Do not Google it today.
Yeah, I meant to say that. Don't add that to the list of things not to Google.
Would you go with the Navage or the neti pot after that?
I think I would I would legitimately look at the man and say, "Can I just get a head transplant? Can you just remove my entire skull and take my head off at the neck and give me a new one?"
Start snorting pesticide, like cocaine. Just
oh my God,
get it up there.
Oh wow, yeah. Like to your point, Zepp. If I can feel the early stage formation of a good golden nugget booger. How do you by lunch this is going to be a good one.
Yeah, some of them are the tip of a finger. They're up in there. They're squirming around. They're having a rave. And you're like, man, I did have cancer up there 30 years ago, but I'm sure it's nothing.
We talked about the guy who did the Guinness Book of World Records last week. He got